Hi, I'm Jess.
And I'm Liz.
And this is Eish, Let's Talk.
Let's get back into it.
Welcome back to part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, please stop, go back, because what we're about to get into only makes sense if you know who Thabo Bester is.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to part 1, what are you doing here? You're not invited. Go back, listen to part 1, get your invitation, come back, show it to the security guard at the door, and you'll be let in without a problem.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah, you can't sit with us. That was a Mean Girl reference to those who are younger than...
Everyone, if you haven't watched Mean Girls, watch that and then listen to
Yes, okay. So
the original Mean Girls.
Go back, listen to part 1, then go watch Mean Girls.
Then you'll get the reference to the... Okay.
All right.
Today, we found out what was in Cell 35, who was in Cell 35, and how Thabo Bester walked out of maximum security and into a 12 million rand mansion in Hyde Park.
Of course he would. Only he has that.
Only he has the audacity.
And the dramatic flair.
Yes.
For that. Okay, let's get into it.
Anyway, we're feeling a bit unhinged because it's the second thing we are.
Yeah, so we are recording this in one day. And also, I legitimately...
You couldn't wait.
During part 1, my face... See, we are...
You're addressed.
Yeah, we are considering like having cameras at some point in the future. Don't get excited about it now.
Her face like, oh.
But the whole time I was sitting with this expression on my face like this is not happening. Who is this man? What is he? I should take a photo probably at some point of that face. But I think it's just going to be so much better when this is like live reaction.
Yes.
But I was absolutely on the floor, shocked at everything. So without further ado, without talking any further nonsense, because I think you guys are just as curious as I am, let's get back into it.
Okay, so I'm going to unfortunately have to shift the mood into a darker place.
Oh, great.
There's not really a good segue we can do from that to this. So I'm just going to get into it.
Everyone put on your serious pants. Because once again, we are talking about real people and real lives that was ruined by this man.
Yeah.
So let's remember that as we continue.
So somebody had to die so that Thabo Bester could live. Not metaphorically, not as a side effect, not as collateral damage. It's some larger plan. Someone had to be specifically, deliberately, intentionally murdered. Their body transported in furniture, delivered to a prison, set on fire, so that the official record would show Thabo Bester was dead. A human being was sourced, killed, and used as a prop.
I am already done with this. I am so done with this. I cannot speak. Please. I don't know. What Jess, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. His name was Katlego Mpholo. He was reported missing in April 2022. His father later told the media he was broken, that his son had been used in the worst possible way, and that the government had failed his family completely. We're going to spend time with Katlego today, and then we're going to follow Thabo Bester out of that cell and through everything that came next. The mansion, the Woolworths trolley, the journalist who cracked it open, the chase through 3 countries, and the courtroom where he is sitting right now. The setup. To understand how the escape worked, you need to understand the months that led up to it. Because this was not improvised, this was not a window of opportunity that someone grabbed in the moment. This was a plan built over years and executed over weeks with precision. On April 19th, 2022, 13 days before they escape, Nandipa checked into a 5-star hotel in Johannesburg. She did not check out for 11 consecutive days, April 19th to April 30th.
11 days?
Yes, 11 days.
What the heck was she doing for 11 days?
Whatever was happening in that hotel room, the calls, the coordination, the logistics, the final run-through of a plan that had been building for months. It required 11 days of uninterrupted concentration to complete. And on April 30th, the last day of his stay, Bester submitted a formal written request to prison management. He said he feared for his life. A gang was threatening him, he claimed. He hadn't paid a protection fee and his safety was at risk. He needed to be moved to solitary confinement immediately for his own protection. The request went through proper channels. It was submitted in writing, and it was approved.
Okay, was this solitary confinement in the prison where he was supposed to be?
It would be because prisons have solitary confinement places. So like if punishing a prisoner or keeping them safe, they put them in a cell by themselves, just that they're not with other people.
But I sense there is a scheme afoot because there's a mansion involved.
In the cell. It is a scheme, but he does go to a proper solitary confinement.
Okay, so I'm kind of jumping the gun here.
Just a little bit, but
okay,
it's still just as crazy.
Okay.
The prisoner who had been in cell 35 was forcibly relocated to make space. Cell 35 is a corner cell close to a fire exit, and one of the areas of the entire facility with the most limited CCTV coverage. This is the specific cell he needed, and the prison gave it to him through a process they formally authorized and signed off on.
Okay, so this man essentially knew he needed to move to a less monitored...
The specific cell, because it had the least CCTV footage area of coverage thing.
Okay, and he was like, he requested to be moved, and he knew he was going to get moved into that specific area, and everything was approved through official channels.
It was all above board. Everything got signed off. Nothing looked suspicious. It was above board.
On the surface.
Then, on May 2nd, 2022, 7:38 p.m., the cameras covering cell 35 went dark. They would not come back on until 4:10 a.m. on May 3rd. 8 hours and 32 minutes of no footage. No record, no eyes on that corner of the facility.
8 hours. That's kind of a big oversight.
Do you know how much can happen in 5 minutes? Never mind 8 hours.
I mean, in 30 seconds, you could have had someone like open that cell door, escorted you out. You could have ran and you could have been out of there for 8 hours. That's a ridiculous oversight.
I'm not surprised anymore. The story.
I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I am surprised.
Yes. A CCTV technician contracted through a company working under the G-Force umbrella was later arrested and charged with tampering with those cameras. 2 officials in the central control room were fired for failing to report that a significant section of cameras had gone offline and stayed offline for the better part of a night. Nobody, apparently, thought this warranted urgent attention.
Okay, so I'm going to say this outright because I think this is stating the obvious. I hope the people that were fired at least got their money in time. I hope they were paid for what they did, because you don't work in a maximum security prison and then have someone come in and tamper with evidence unnoticed, because obviously he was let in, and then also 2 security guards watching over the cameras not being bothered to do anything for 8 hours. So they were paid off.
Clearly, yeah.
Clearly paid off.
Nobody escalated it. The cameras were down. The cell was a complete blind spot, and somewhere in those 8.5 hours, something was brought into the prison.
Let's just say this does not sound dodgy at all. This is what happened. People were paid off. 8 hours of no CCTV footage. And also people were going to move some furniture in the prison today. It's not weird. Don't stress about it.
But also, it also shows you like the level of intelligence it took to create this plan, because it would be very obvious if after 8 hours something was missing or someone was missing. Bringing something into the prison isn't what people are looking for, obviously.
No.
They're like, what's left, who's gone, etc. You know, it's not like
it's much easier to track when something is taken out of prison and
is put in. So
that's intelligence working, but also it's
I hate working with intelligent, because he's like
it's working for the wrong reason.
Scum of the earth.
Yes, the scum of the earth.
Okay. So we're going to talk about Katlego now, a trigger warning for murder. But I need to tell you about Katlego Mpholo before I tell you what was done to him, because he was a person before he was evidence. He had a father who loved him. He had a life that was interrupted in April 2022 when he disappeared. His family reported him missing and they waited. According to investigators' findings, which prosecutors allege and which would be tested at trial, Katlego Mpholo was murdered, killed by blunt force trauma to the head. his skull caved in, and then his body was placed inside a TV cabinet.
No, the amount of disrespect. First of all, to deem someone's life lesser than yours and to feel like you have the authority to kill them. And then also to just disrespect his body and just chuck it into a TV cabinet.
Yeah. Inside a TV cabinet, it's just, and I don't even have words for like the kind of terrible human being you have to be able to do that to someone else who has a life, has a family, who has a future ahead of them. And yeah, I don't have words.
No, same. Like his family must have been distraught when they found this out.
So this TV cabinet was delivered to the prison Thabo Bester was in. It was rolled through whatever access points existed, past whatever checks were in place, through the facility and into cell 35, where the cameras had been dark for hours. And then, this is the detail that still stays with me, accelerant was placed into his airways. Not onto his body, into his airways, after he was already dead, to create the post-mortem appearance of having inhaled smoke during a fire, to make it look, to a rushed or careless examination, like he had burned alive. Somebody put accelerant into a dead man's throat so that when investigators opened that cell, they would read the body as evidence of a suicide by fire.
Okay, so this, I don't know why, but this today is hitting a bit hard for me. The fact that it was a completely innocent man who had, like you said, such a bright future ahead of him and family that loved him. And then everything was just stripped away by people who, I don't know if they probably watched him for a while because they saw that he fit Thabo's description.
Yeah.
So he was being watched and then killed in the most brutal manner ever. Literally stuffed inside something. And then they desecrated the body after death by pouring accelerant down his throat.
And it just shows you, I think we're going to be talking about this further, but the doctor obviously had a huge part to play in this because she would be the one that said this is what you have to do to make it look like a suicide.
Of course. There's just too many bad people in the story.
Someone who supposedly fought against gender-based violence.
Who had children. Who was a mother.
Like, this is someone's child that you had organized to kill. And what did he do? Nothing.
He was there. He was living his life.
Yeah. A good person, not like Thabo Bester, who's the worst person.
No, the absolute gall to just do that as well.
And the level of planning, like, you have to think of it and then you have to do it to an actual person.
Like, who are you
Yeah.
to decide that you are better than someone else? Who are you to have the goal to murder someone else because you cannot sit with what you've done and you want out?
Yeah.
You don't get to make that decision.
You sit there and deal with the consequences of your own actions. You don't get to be like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, you were the psychopath in the situation. Who gave you the right?
So at approximately 3:35 a.m. on May 3rd, guards reported smoke from cell 35. They found the mattress burning, a body underneath it. The Department of Correctional Services declared Thabo Bester dead by suicide before the sun came up. The entire system, the prison, the department, G-Force moved quickly to sign off and close the case. But nobody measured the body.
This screams like it was a gigantic operation. There's probably so many people that were involved in this, and so many of them still aren't in prison because they don't know that that person was involved.
Yeah.
This is infuriating.
This is what the post-mortem eventually showed. And the word eventually is carrying months of resistance, stalling, and legal battles by journalists who would not stop pushing.
Okay, first of all, thank you to the journalist.
Yes, like...
For going after the actual.
We need more journalists like you.
Yes.
Please continue to do what you do. So the body in cell 35 was 1.45 meters tall. Thabo Bester was 1.7 meters tall, 25 centimeters. This is not a rounding error. It's not a measurement variance. It's not like 1 or 2 centimeters is like, excusable. It's almost a whole ruler shorter.
You're going to notice that. You go, listen, if someone burns alive, does their body kind of compress into something? No, that does not happen. What kind of error was that? What kind of autopsy technician or freaking forensic scientist doing this autopsy
I don't know.
would say, no, this is Thabo Bester.
Yep. And, it's such a big difference. And because of that, it's like you can't argue that it's Thabo Bester. It's a completely different
It's a different
human
person.
in that cell. You can't argue otherwise. Just lose 25 centimeters.
No, also, I don't know what the process is in South Africa for when these things happen and forensic investigations need to be carried out. But also, don't we also do dental records?
We should, yeah.
And-
Like they should have used those to
Yeah,
even DNA, anything.
DNA testing, getting
fingerprints because you're
from, so fingerprints, it would have been burnt off. But they could have gotten DNA from Thabo, which they had in that prison for years. That man probably made a mess somewhere.
Yeah.
They could have had that and compared it to the burning body and been like, this is not the same person. But instead, a very, very low-life, corrupted individual decided to be like, I'm getting paid, so I'm going to spend this.
So the post-mortem also confirmed accelerants in the airways placed their post-mortem. Cause of death, blunt force trauma, not fire, not smoke inhalation. This man was murdered before the cell was ever set alight. The fire was staging.
Like, obviously, he was killed by blunt force trauma. Okay. I'm trying to rationalize this in my head and picture this, even though it is extremely morbid. But you would see, the body laying in front of you there also has a gigantic head wound. You'd be like, how did that happen? Was there someone, did he have an altercation with someone? Why was it not taken care of by a medical professional? Because it was a gigantic head wound. This is infuriating.
The entire official declaration of death by suicide was fiction, either through catastrophic incompetence or through active complicity.
Yeah.
And the charges being pursued suggest it was both. The system looked at a burning cell with a wrong height body and declared, case closed.
No, that's them being lazy and them wanting to go to bed.
So Nandipa, in the weeks after the fire, applied to the Johannesburg High Court to collect Bester's quote-unquote body. She submitted affidavits claiming to be his customary wife and seeking release of the remains. Her father submitted supporting documents. Investigators established that at least some of those documents reference people and arrangements that did not exist, including the fictional Uncle David Magagula, who had supposedly arranged the Ebola payments that also did not happen through the channels described. The application was dismissed and the costs were awarded against her.
Okay, so I would see why they would be like, she's his customary wife, because apparently, according to their history, he paid Lobola. So that is something that would make her the rightful owner of the body, as horrible as that sounds. But it's saying something that if you want to gather your husband's body, and I'm using air quotes throughout this whole time that I'm speaking, because none of this is true, that she obviously wanted to collect that body so that no further evidence could be collected.
Exactly. This is what the investigators allege, So back to the night of escape. The cameras are dark, the body is burning. At the edge of one camera that was still partially operational, investigators later identified two figures moving quickly toward a door near the fire exit. 3 prison staff members were ultimately fired in connection with what happened. A former G-Force security officer was arrested and charged. He is alleged by prosecutors to have been central to coordinating the operation from the inside. And Thabo Bester, reportedly wearing a prison warden's uniform, walking out in plain sight, left the prison in the early hours of May 3rd, 2022. A man serving life plus 75 years went into the dark and was gone.
This story is like a film.
It is. It's one of those stuck films where you watch it and you're like, oh, that's the twist ending.
That's not going to help.
Or
That's not going to happen in real life.
Yes. It's like, oh, that's the twist ending. And then it's like, but then there's another twist ending. And you're like, oh, that's a twist ending. And it's like, wait, what is going on?
I mean, like, but in a new character, and you're like, who the heck is this person? And they're like, oh, okay, so they're also an accomplice in this. And they're like, okay, but what is happening?
Yeah.
It sounds like absolute fiction.
Yeah, and also what you said, it's one of those situations in a movie where you would be like, No,
This will not
it
happen.
would never happen in real life. Like, who would open a meter coming in a prison? That's not going to happen. Like,
Yeah, like, do you want us to believe that this man had so much influence that he could
Yes.
start all of this in prison?
Yeah.
And then do you want me to believe that this man had so much influence from within prison to have this entire escape plan with, unfortunately, an innocent soul just like killed within this process? It's unfounded. It's fiction. It sounds like absolute
It
fiction.
does. So let's talk about the year he was free.
Yep, just agreed.
You have just faked your own death. A man has been murdered in your place. You are wearing a prison warden's uniform and you have just walked out of maximum security in the middle of the night. Where do you go?
Well, my first instinct would be lay low. Go to some dodgy ass area where no one goes because they think, listen, it's just full of unfortunate people who have met unfortunate circumstances and are addicted to substances. And you're just there and it's a completely unassuming location.
Yeah, you would think that, but he went to Hyde Park in Johannesburg. A 12 million rand rental 12 million rental mansion. Like, that's insane.
You can rent something for 12. I'm sorry. How much money do you have to first of all rent something of that price? And also,
I wonder if that was like the price of what it was worth, or I think that's probably what it was worth, not.
I think that is like the
But
value,
still,
that is the property value.
Mansion.
Yeah, and then you probably paid like what, 50,000, 70,000 rand a month.
Yeah, and for those of us who don't know where Hyde Park is, it is one of the most expensive, most recognizable, most visible, wealthy postcodes in the country. The streets where ambassadors live, where the president of South Africa has his Johannesburg residence nearby. This is not a safe house on the edge of nowhere. This is the most visible address you could possibly choose.
Why choose Hyde Park? It is such a high-profile neighborhood, and the security in Hyde Park is insane already. Not to say like, okay, there are the security cameras on the street. There's almost security cameras at every gate. Every inch of that residential zone is covered by cameras. No one gets in unnoticed and no one goes out unnoticed.
I don't know. But he chose Hyde Park and he moved in with Nandipa and her daughters. And he went by a few different aliases. And the watch he wore was reportedly worth 1.5 million rand. The watch he wore.
Okay. I'm just going to say, so this esteemed and qualified doctor,
yes,
who had this beautiful reputation that she just destroyed,
with a husband
that was also a doctor, and they had two beautiful daughters together. She threw that all away and then decided, listen, for a convict, she's just like, you know what? Your dad and I are getting divorced. Not only that, but guess what? You are moving in with me and a convicted serial rapist.
Which is actually crazy because she's got two daughters.
She has two.
Did she not consider her daughter's safety like
Thabo Bester is already a psychopath. Don't you think, or did she not at least for one moment think that he was going to turn on her daughters?
I don't know. It just blows my mind though.
Ugh, sickening.
What's even more crazy is that he renovated the kitchen of the mansion he was renting. He put marble countertops, full refurbishment, the works, without telling the landlord. He simply renovated a property he did not own because he was already a dead man living in Hyde Park. And apparently, the kitchen was not up to standard. This man is, I don't know.
You just came from prison, my guy. Every kitchen after that is going to be up to standard. Beggars can't be choosers. But then also, you are renting this property. Like, I think even for us, normal folk who are renting, you know that as soon as some paint chips off that wall, you're like, okay, there goes my deposit. Now you're renovating this kitchen.
But that's bringing attention to yourself.
That's bringing attention, because contractors are constantly going in and out.
Yeah, but people like the landlord finds out, they're going to be like, this is legal, bring in lawyers. Lawyers are going to be like, oh, who are you? You know.
Or the landlord's just going to be like, listen, all of this, you have to stop it immediately.
Yeah.
Undo the damage that you have done, and also now you have to pay me for damages. Also, which alias did they use? Like, either they used a very, very inconspicuous alias for them to either rent it under his name, or they rented it under our very, very genius doctor.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
So he and Napipa co-founded a fake property company called Aram Properties. They used it to collect deposits from real people for construction and renovation projects that were never going to happen. This created obviously more victims, more fraud. Even now, on the run, legally dead, living under a fake name, he was running cons. He literally could not stop. It was like ingrained in him.
He was addicted. He was addicted to the freaking chase of it all.
So just a trigger warning for this part. There's domestic violence going to be mentioned. There was also at some point in this period violence. Nandipa later claimed in court documents that Besa had assaulted her in front of her children and friends during this time. Witnesses reportedly corroborated aspects of this account. So in the 12 million rand mansion with the marble kitchen and the 1.5 million rand watch and the daughters in the house, he was still, at his core, exactly the same person who came into a hotel bathroom with a knife.
You know, this is one of those instances where people would be like, I told you so. I told you this was going to happen again. How?
Like, you know who he is. Like, you've seen
who he is.
Can do.
You are an accomplice in his crimes. You see the extent of damage that he can do. And you're still stuck by him. And then you decided, I'm going to bring my innocent daughters who had absolutely nothing to do with this, and I'm going to ruin their lives because I am an idiot.
Yeah.
This esteemed, clever woman, a doctor who had so much in front of her to actually do, and so much she could have accomplished with her name and her position in the world that she was in.
Yeah, she became a victim with her 2 daughters.
But she's an accomplice now.
No, and it's like I've got such conflicting thoughts actually, because I'm like, no one deserves to go through that or experience that, but she helped him.
Domestic violence,
murdered. I'm like, my emotions are so conflicted right now because it's either way, it's still terrible, and I feel
still a terrible.
so bad for her children.
It's like, okay, you're an accomplice, but you're also now a victim. But you are a victim, and you chose to be a victim, not directly.
Yeah.
But you knew what crimes this man had committed. And your poor daughters, like, they should not have had to witness their mother getting assaulted. They should not have to witness anyone getting assaulted.
It's been made to live with him, honestly.
No.
I should stay with it. Like, if you want to mess up your own life, go ahead, do that.
Go ahead, but don't drag your children.
But leave your children with...
Don't drag your children into your absolute heinous activities.
I don't know. So then, 2 months after supposedly dying in a prison fire, June 2022, he went to do the weekly grocery shop in Woolworths Sandton City Mall. For any international listeners, what Woolworths means in South Africa. Woolworths in South Africa is not the British pound shop Woolworths. It is a premium grocery and homeware retailer. Organic produce, high-end ready meals, quality basics at quality prices. It is where middle and upper class Johannesburg goes on a Sunday. It is well lit, busy, fully surveyed, and about as publicly visible as a location gets in the northern suburbs. It is the last place on earth a man who is supposed to be dead should go.
Yeah, for, let's say, our US listeners, if we do have some at this point, or for those who, in the future, hi, it's 2026, Liz and Jess, are listening, I want to say it's the equivalent of Erewhon. Like, you get very specific products there, and you get very high-end products there, and things you would never find at a regular retailer.
Highest prices, like...
Yeah, and a Woolworths...
Quality.
In Sandton City Mall.
Yeah.
Also, worth
mentioning... Massive.
Sandton City Mall is absolutely massive, and also it is very high profile. So, you have all of the very, very high-profile retailers there, like Prada and Gucci and...
Yes.
Those kind of places which you will not have in a regular shopping mall.
No.
So for him just to go out in broad daylight and go to Woolies.
Yeah.
No.
So here he is, a tall man, a green hoodie, designer sunglasses, moving through the food hall with a trolley, taking his time, appearing by every account of the person who photographed him, completely unbothered by the existence of other humans and the potential ability to recognize him. But someone did recognize him. They took a photo on their phone and sent it to journalists. GroundUp published the photo and flagged it to authorities. Investigators were formally made aware a dead man had been photographed doing his weekly shop.
Please tell me then that they used their collective brain, because at this point no, the authorities in this story have not done a single thing right. So obviously something's wrong there. let's say they used their collective brain cell that is currently sitting on a unicycle. I was going, you hear the clown music going in your head, and they were like, oh, damn, homie is still alive? Did they go and follow him or arrest him?
Nope.
Of course they didn't.
Nothing happened.
Of course they didn't.
No arrest, no visible follow-up, no increased surveillance on the area. He reportedly kept shopping there week after week in the green hoodie in Sandton. So Amanda K. dead was shopping at Woolworths for months, unbothered. Your expressions are killing me in this case, but I feel you, because I had the same reaction reading this stuff. I was like, what?
Yeah, if you guys want to have like a picture of how I was just posing at this point, my hands were in the air. So just think of that weird meme that circulated a while back of, I want to say, that weird little white furry creature with his arms and legs, and he's sitting on a stool.
Oh yes, it's like I think it's a monkey.
It looks like a sort of monkey. I don't know if it's a scientific thing or if it was a puppet built by someone. I don't know the history behind the meme. I don't know. But I was sitting like that, and I'm just like, okay, this man was buying groceries like an everyday, usual person going about their things because he has a family to feed, which I don't think he cared for anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going around basically unnoticed by authorities because people
I think they just didn't care, honestly, or they were just paid. They were probably in his
in a circle,
like pay them amounts every month. I don't know.
Yeah, he was like going to the Sandton PD, sending them a WhatsApp message in the group they're all currently part of, sending memes to each other.
But I'm going to be here, don't be there.
Yeah, it's like, listen, guys, I'm going to go shopping today again. The missus really wants a roast chicken. Don't be alarmed. It's just
roast
me.
chicken, though.
Yeah, Woolworths roast chicken.
So anyway, he was going shopping at Woolworths for months, and the only reason any of this changed is because of two journalists at a small non-profit news outlet who decided the official version of his death didn't add up and refused to stop until they found out why.
There we go. It's the unsung hero.
Yes.
Please tell me we have their names.
Yes.
Fantastic. Now I'm positive. Okay, let's go.
The journalists who wouldn't let it go. I need to say this clearly because it matters. The reason the story unraveled is not because the government did its job. The Department of Correctional Services had a death certificate. G-Force had closed a case. Every institution with a stake in this staying buried had done its part. Without what happened next, Thabo Bester might still be in Hyde Park or somewhere past Hyde Park. What happened next was GroundUp, specifically Marcia Damons and Daniel Steyn.
Shout out.
Yes.
Yeah, salute.
They deserve a round
shout
of
out. And I am giving hand claps. I don't know if it's going to come around in the final audio.
Fine.
But
Clock it.
Yeah, you know what? We clock it. This is amazing. Shout out to these people. I don't know the full story, so I don't know how this thing is going to unfold. But thanks to people like you who will not let anything go. Thank you. If anyone ever tells you in the future to let something go, you tell them,
No.
no. You know what? No. Get out of
It's that thing that, if you see something, say something.
Yeah, which the person clearly did. He did to the police, and they were like,
Yeah. If you see something, do something. South Africa, that's the version.
South African version.
If you see something, say
something.
If you say something, nothing will be done. So,
yeah, in South Africa, if you see something, do something about it.
So I just want to talk a little bit about GroundUp. They are a small non-profit investigative journalism outlet based in Cape Town, focused on human rights and social justice reporting. It does not have the staff or budget of a major commercial newsroom. It operates on grants and donations. It publishes stories the bigger outlets don't always reach. And in this story, it was the only outlet that kept going when every official door was closed in its face.
Gosh.
They do have a website, and if you want to, I'm sure you can make a donation because they're clearly doing the thing that our government doesn't do.
Yeah.
So Damons and Steyn started pulling this thread in November 2022. The official account of Bester's death wasn't holding together under scrutiny. They filed requests under PAIA, the Promotion of Access to Information Act, South Africa's Freedom of Information legislation, for the post-mortem records. They were stalled. Documents were delayed. Access was resisted at every turn. But they kept going because they are badasses and I love them.
It's like these journalists, I think they acted without fear, without thinking like they would be scrutinized. They went there. Small outlet. Journalists who weren't well known. And they ganged up, essentially. They ganged up against the Department of Correctional Services
Hell yeah,
and
they did.
G4s.
I feel so amped up for them. I'm like, yeah, do your thing.
I'm like, yes.
I want to go donate to them now because I'm like, yeah, do more.
I want to be like, guys, how can we help?
Yes, this is great. I love it. So 2 journalists at one small outlet, filing requests and getting stonewalled and filing again. In January 2023, they published the post-mortem findings. The body in cell 35 was not Thabo Bester. It was 25 centimeters shorter than him. It had not died in the fire, and the scene had been staged. They put it on paper with sources in public.
Let's go.
In March 2023, they published the full picture. Bester had faked his death using a murdered man, escaped the prison, and was alive and apparently doing his grocery shopping at Woolworths in Sandton City, while the state held a death certificate in his name.
Oh my gosh. I got
goosebumps.
yeah, like
I literally have goosebumps. My legs are like
so excited. I have the chills. I'm like, yes, let's go. Please tell me that the rest of the country had this level of excitement when that article dropped.
So when that article dropped, South Africa went feral.
Yes.
It was the most shared news story in the country in years. Every platform, every group chat, every office in the country. This story was everywhere within hours of publication. People were furious at the prison, at G4s, at the Department of Correctional Services, at the absolute jaw-dropping fact that a convicted rapist and murderer had been living in a 12 million rand mansion in one of Johannesburg's most prominent suburbs for nearly a year, while the official record said he was dead in a cell.
You can't trust the government.
Yeah, one thing. First, in South Africa.
Yeah. First of all, you live in South Africa, so take everything the government says with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So parliamentary hearings were called within days. Senior G-Force officials and DCS representatives were summoned and questioned for hours. Lawmakers accused G-Force of withholding information and actively covering up what had happened. The question of who knew what, when, and how high the complicity went dominated front pages for weeks. Nobody came out of these hearings looking good.
As they shouldn't be looking good.
Yes,
bad.
Actually,
make them
look what they actually
are.
Yeah.
Expose them for the people that they are.
Truly.
But then, okay, so I don't know if you all mentioned it, and maybe I'm jumping the gun again, but you would assume that G4s, which is an independent contractor or something, right?
I think they worked they made an arrangement with the government.
Yeah, so they got tenure with the government.
Yeah.
But I would assume that immediately their credibility went down and no one...
I hope so.
I
heard of them for a while.
See them.
But I haven't heard of them in forever. So I actually don't know. I'm Googling them now.
Yeah, we're going to do a quick Google and we will be right back. Okay, we're back from the internet and we're not happy with what we found.
No, because... So they got their contract terminated with obviously working with the prison, but... obviously they face some legal proceedings and stuff, but it's still a massive security company, so I also don't want to badmouth them.
No, that I think they
have a lot more policies and stuff in place now, and
I think literally the process of checking who can work for them is now much more strict, and you don't know who was involved, so we cannot scrutinize the whole business.
People that were involved and they were proved to be involved did get...
that's what you can hope for.
Yeah.
But then obviously it was a huge PR nightmare to get back into the good books.
Evidence control and
everything else. Okay. But that is what we found.
So obviously after all these proceedings, nobody looked good. And within 4 days of the GroundUp article being published, Bester and Andipa packed up the Hyde Park mansion and ran. In 4 days. That's all the warning they got.
They should not have gotten a warning, but sure.
Actually, they should have actually been arrested. And,
the
news article should have been they were arrested, not they're there and then they got arrested.
But also, I think, first of all, props that they dropped the news and they dropped the bomb on South Africa.
I'm glad that they did that, so everyone's aware. It's look at this that's going on, and
but then unfortunately,
think about it.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, you look at the other side. It's oh crap, they know about us. The jig is up. We need to go.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously they left in a huge hurry. All the furniture was still in place. The 1.5 million rand watch sitting on the bedside table, they'd be back in an hour. A 700,000 rand Mercedes abandoned at the Zimbabwe border. Nandipa reportedly got out of the car and walked across the border on foot. to avoid having her name logged at the checkpoint. On the other side of the border, they picked up another vehicle and they drove north, which means they still have
Connections.
yes.
They still had
If
connections.
you are helping someone who's clearly murdered people, scam people, sexually assaults people, like if you like, he's done everything bad that you could possibly do,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Sure, we'll help you. No, we'll help you."
No. How much money is it worth to you to absolutely let go of your dignity and your morals?
Soul and morals. I don't even know.
No.
Okay, so they drove north through Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Tanzania.
And see, the whole fact, like, she was, I don't want my name logged at the checkpoint. So obviously she just didn't go across because they would be like, hey, wait, who are you? Where are you going? So she had to cross somewhere where people illegally cross between the two countries. And she did it on foot.
Yeah. But they left everything. I can't believe they left the watch there.
Why did he leave the watch?
I know. I'm like, you could have just picked it up at the table. It's worth a lot of money. You could have bribed someone because that's what they do.
Yeah, you could have used that watch.
The area you were going. They were like, we need to go now.
And how like little thought they had for like the most expensive things in their life. I mean, 1.5 million, just thinking to the average South African, that would help a lot with anything.
Yeah.
Right now.
So Damons and Steyn would later turn their reporting into a full book, The Thabo Bereng Story, The Facebook Rapist, The Celebrity Doctor, and Escape from Cell 35. He obviously tried to block that publication from prison and failed. That's an epic book name, though.
I am going to buy that book.
Yes.
I am going to go.
I love these people. To Damons and Steyn, you are incredible, and you deserve
guys are incredible
coming your way, and I hope you have the
I
best
hope that book sold so many, I want to say millions.
Yes.
I hope it continues to sell.
Worldwide. You're great people. We need more people like
you. You are great people. Please.
Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Yes, please continue doing what you're doing. I'm going to get that book.
You're actively making South Africa a better place, and we need more people like you. So
Exactly. Thank you from all of us.
So let's talk about their catch. Their
capture.
We're talking about the catch, their capture.
There we go. It's the big catch.
Yes. On April 7th, 2023, almost exactly 1 year to the day that Thabo Bereng walked out of prison, the Tanzanian police arrested both Thabo Bereng and Dr. Nandipha in Arusha in northern Tanzania near the Kenyan border.
Let's go!
Yeah. And obviously it has to be like not South African police that caught them because, anyway.
They are throwing so much shade and it is warranted because honestly... What were they thinking? But yes, let's not get ourselves into trouble. Let's continue.
They were traveling with a Mozambican national. The South African police minister announced it at a press conference in South Africa. They were approximately 10 kilometers from the Kenyan border when Tanzanian authorities stopped the vehicle. 10 kilometers from disappearing.
They were essentially 10 kilometers away from being gone forever.
Yep, 10 kilometers.
Having to have no responsibility whatsoever for the damages and the lives they've ruined. And they were
that close. They were deported back to South Africa within days. SABC broadcast footage of the arrival, barred vehicles driving from Lanseria Airport, heavily armed police escort, the whole country watching. They sent one vehicle, Nandipha in a separate white van, transported apart from him. Thank goodness, because they make a terrible duo. The South African police minister noted that Nandipha had cooperated with the Tanzanian authorities during the arrest process. Bereng had not. Of course he hadn't.
Why would he? He thinks he's better than everyone else.
And then they appeared in court together for the first time since their arrest. And cameras caught them holding hands across the dock, smiling at each other, chatting, as if they were at a dinner party, not sitting in front of charges that include murder.
That is sick. I am so sorry, but you cannot appear back in the country. I just touched my mic. If anyone heard that, I apologize because I am just so shocked by this. But you cannot...
Clutch your pearls.
Yeah, I clutch my pearls. Just the sheer audacity of you coming back into the country like nothing had happened. You are standing there happily with your, let's say, approximate husband, because that's what their relationship was apparently. And you're just smiling, having fun on the docks. No.
Holding hands. While facing murder charges.
Who gave you the right? No.
Nandipa's legal team submitted an affidavit in which she claimed Bester had kidnapped and threatened her,
Oh my gosh.
that she had been forced to flee with him against her will and had no choice. The investigating officer told the court this version of events was not consistent with a single piece of evidence available to investigators at all.
You are a smart woman.
Mm-hmm.
How did you for 1 second think that anyone would believe you? You claimed his body.
Also, all the evidence pointed.
All the evidence pointed towards you being an accomplice in all of this. And you wanted to collect his body, quote unquote.
Yeah, to hide evidence.
To hide evidence. No.
Gosh.
My girl, you are smarter than this. But also, you know what?
I'm glad you're not.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you weren't smarter
Just
than
flip
this.
up, you know. So the court was unpersuaded, and then because he is constitutionally incapable of not doing this from his prison cell, awaiting trial on murder charges, Tal Bester applied to have Netflix interdicted for releasing a documentary about him. He tried to sue Netflix from a prison cell while on trial for murder.
I'm going to take a deep breath. So, Netflix, by now, probably multi-billion-dollar company worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
A little man in a cell who has convicted all of these crimes decided, you know what? I am still better than all of you. I am going to sue Netflix. My guy, who do you think you are? Of course, you're going to lose that battle. It's freaking Netflix.
Yeah.
No, like, who do you think you are?
He applied for an urgent interdict to block Beauty and the Bester, the 3-part Netflix documentary, arguing it was defamatory and would prejudice his rights to a fair trial.
Sorry for laughing. It's prejudice, excuse.
I'm sure it's just pure facts as well. It's like, this is what he did.
This is what the man did.
It's unbiased as well. It's not like they painting him in an evil light. It's like, oh yeah, you are evil.
Yeah, he was a serial.
It's not a evil light.
Yeah, no, they're not painting him in evil light. They did not say he ate children. That would be defamatory, doc. I'm sorry, that's the space I go. But that is like literally very defamatory. So, no, my guy, no.
No. He and Nandipa both applied. Judge Sulet Potterell heard the application and dismissed it. She ruled that they had failed to demonstrate urgency and that the matter was, her exact words, firmly in the public domain.
Exactly.
Yes. He tried to sue Netflix from a murder trial cell. He lost. The documentary came out in September 2025.
You know what? That is deserving. I had not watched it, just to be very, very clear, because it sounds bad to say, but I wasn't very interested in what was going on in the news and all of those things. The only thing I was looking out for was like, if there's a price hike, I was more influenced with the US news and all of the absolute monstrous stuff that came out there.
Goes on in South Africa. But also I feel like it's terrible to say, but there are so many crimes, so many murders and stuff that happens in South Africa. A lot of them don't get reported properly. Yeah. In America, when one does happen, it's rare, so it's a massive thing that gets reported on. There's so much information about it. So trying to sue Netflix is one of the most Thabo Bester things that could have happened. Even in a prison cell facing murder charges, he tried to run a con. He tried to control the narrative, and the judge told him, no, hell no.
See, I love that. What the hell? No. Like, I imagine that judge. Once again, people, I am so sorry that I refer to memes this much, but it is one of my love languages. And it is one of the ways that I keep myself sane, because the world is very depressing. Let's face that fact. But once again, you have the ability to control whatever news you are taking in and how you choose to see the world. And I love memes. And I'm imagining
it's a form of communication.
It's communication. It is a love language. It is a form of us letting our frustrations out without having to go to a rage room. And also it's a sign of protesting, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But when the judge told him no, when you said that sentence, I imagine that Bugs Bunny gif where he's, I think, talking to the hunter. I can't remember his name, so I'm sorry. But of him going with his carrot and he's like, no. That meme where his like lips are pursed up.
Literally don't care.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, this is probably going to get
on the side out. But on the side note, with like how terrible news and stuff is, please take care of yourself and, don't doom scroll yourself into depression, because there's so much news out there currently happening. The world is in a very dark place. Take care of yourself.
Don't
take review yourself. do what you need to do.
Do mental health walks,
Yeah.
go talk to friends, go vent to someone, touch grass.
Yes.
And this is coming from people who have been through some stuff.
Yeah.
So and actively still having depression and anxiety. I'm going to say that. I'm not afraid to admit that for myself. So please do not put yourself in a mind state that you can't get out of.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
So let's talk about the trial and where it currently stands. As of early 2026, the trial of Thabo Bester and Dr. Nandipa and the 7 co-accused is ongoing at the Bloemfontein High Court. I'm not going to name all of them because it's still ongoing, but there's 9 people and they're all going to hopefully get what's coming to them and deal with the consequences of what they did to other people.
Yeah.
So the charges include the murder of Katlego Mpholo, multiple counts of fraud and corruption, and the desecration of human remains. That last charge relating to what was done to Katlego's body. In May 2025, the Supreme Court of Appeal upheld the decision to keep Nandipa in pre-trial detention. Her bail application was dismissed. She remains in custody.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Why you don't give bail to people like that?
It was dismissed, yeah, sorry, good.
Yeah, no, like absolutely.
Yeah. A judge overseeing proceedings has already formally warned Bester and his co-accused not to use procedural delays as a tactic. The court is aware of his history with time, but his court hearing, I did research now, as of now in April 2026, I'm not too sure when this is getting released, but the main trial has been postponed to the 20th of July 2026.
Which is closer than you think.
So we'll do an update when
we get like the final verdict of the trial and everyone who was accused and everyone who was found guilty.
The state has described the case against him as overwhelming. His defense team has challenged elements of the evidence and the process. This is their right. This is what a trial is for. We'll be watching. Thabo Bester is in custody at the Bloemfontein High Court on trial for murder, fraud, corruption, and the desecration of human remains. He has tried to delay. He has tried to sue Netflix. He has tried to control every room he's ever been in. The room he's in now has a judge who has already told him no. Nandipa is in pre-trial detention, no bail. Her medical practice is gone, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Her marriage is over. Her daughters are growing up without her present, but they are with their father. Whatever Bester told her, whatever he promised, whatever he made her feel she couldn't survive without, it has cost her everything she spent a decade building. The trial is ongoing. The verdict will come. We'll update you when it does.
That is absolutely insane.
Over 2 episodes, we've given you the full Thabo Bester story, the media empire from the cell, the hotel stays, the mansion and the Woolworths trolley, and the Netflix lawsuit. The escape so audacious and the journalist who cracked it open. All of that is extraordinary, and all of that is just the surface. Underneath it is a woman in a hotel shower with a knife coming through the door. 13 women who walked into hotel rooms thinking they had a career ahead of them. A 26-year-old named Mfundo who was left in a room in Sunset Beach with a do not disturb sign on the door. And a man named Katlego Mpholo who disappeared in April 2022 and whose body was desecrated. This is the weight of this story, not the escape, not the mansion, not the watch left on the bedside table, the people who were destroyed, and the one woman who gave birth to him and is afraid of what she made.
And as always, every time we are going to say the names.
Nomfundo Chulu, the woman in the hotel rooms, Katlego Mpholo. And that is the Thabo Bester story. 2 parts, 1 man, an almost incomprehensible amount of damage. Before we go, if any of this episode has affected you, please reach out. The South African Depression and Anxiety Group is sadag.org or call 0800 456 789. If you have experienced sexual violence, the SAPS Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit can be contacted at 10111. Or Rape Crisis South Africa is at rapecrisis.org.za. And if this episode has made you want to know more about who broke the story, read the GroundUp reporting. Read the book, credit Marcia Damons and Daniel Stein. They did the work that everyone else waited on.
Wow, this was absolutely packed. This one was a gigantic roller coaster.
Truly.
A really wild roller coaster, but Once again, thank you for listening to Eish That's Dark. And if this episode is sitting with you, share it, tell someone, let your friends know. Maybe they don't know the Thabo Bester story. Inform them in a fun, informative way. You can find us at Eish That's Dark on Instagram and on TikTok. And we are trying to get on all major platforms for your podcast listening privileges. You can rate us, review us, and send us your South African stories on aishthat'sdark@gmail.com. And we read everything. If you or someone you know was directly or indirectly affected by the Thabo Bester case, or Thabo Bester himself, or Nandipa, that would be amazing to hear of. So
We want to hear it.
yeah, we want to hear it. Please send us your story.
And that's us for today.
Stay safe. Please stay safe and stay skeptical.
And maybe don't renovate someone else's kitchen when you're supposed to be dead.
Yeah, that was a warning sign, I would say.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.